Okay, equipment you're going to need today is your letter ball. For those of you that are just joining, if you don't have a letter ball, a ball with letters on it, not too fancy, you can grab a rolled up pair of socks, preferably something interesting for your eyes to look at. So with like an interesting pattern or words on it or something like that. And then just two pencils, two cooking utensils, just something that's easy for you to hold. You can always use your thumbs if that's easier for you also. And then remember for this class, because we do visual and vestibular work, that if we're doing some of that work with the eyes or with the head movements, if you get dizzy, maybe slightly nauseous, itchy eyes, watery eyes, that is all okay, but it means that you've met your edge and we don't want to go too far past that edge. So you can always close your eyes, take a break, grab some water. Okay, so just moving at your own pace, listening to your body. Feel free to type into the chat box if you have any questions, or you can unmute yourself and we will get going. Okay. All right, so we'll come back to a grounded, seated or standing position of some sort. Good. We'll keep the eyes open. Let's just find a few shoulder circle rolls. Just coming into the body a little bit more. And we're just taking the arms, doing running arms, so swishing the arms, right, left, right, left. Just getting the torso and the trunk moving. Okay. All right, we'll still the body. We'll close the eyes. And we'll start by finding our breath. And just seeing if you can find that nice, slow, easy belly breath. Noticing that the belly presses away as you inhale, and it drifts back in as you exhale. And just staying with that breath, and then I just want you to shift, whether you're seated or standing. I just want you to start to do a slow sway from side to side. Okay, so if you're seated, you're just shifting slowly from the left sit bone to the right sit bone. And if you're standing, you're shifting from the right foot to the left foot. Just a weight shift here. Doing these kinds of sways or rocking can be a really nice way to help calm the nervous system. Taking in some sensory information here, noticing if it feels different to shift from one side compared to the other side. Okay, then come back to the center. And then you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna shift forward back. So if you're seated, leaning forward out of your chair and back, and if you're standing, you're rocking from your heels to your toes. Nice and slow. I'm going really slow here. Stay with that belly breath. Just seeing if you can feel that weight shift on the sit bones, or maybe you feel it more in the stomach, or maybe you feel it more in the feet. Yeah, let's just do one more there. And then coming back to the center, we'll find stillness again. And just noticing if anything in the body feels different after those sways. Okay, we'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Okay, we're gonna bring that sway now more into a circular movement. I'm not doing that full hula hoop that we usually do. I'm really focusing more on where I'm bearing my weight through. So I'm thinking about my sit bones. And I'm just staying with a nice slow pace. If you're standing, you're moving in a circle around your feet. Just coming into the body. Go ahead and switch directions. This can also be really good for seated and standing balance. All right, we'll do one more. And coming back to the center. Good. We'll take both hands. We'll reach them up towards the sky. Interlace the fingers if you can, pressing the palms up. And take an articulating roll down to the floor, or as low to it as you can go. Pause at the bottom. See if you can find a few breaths all the way down into your sit bones. And then slowly roll yourself back up. Good. Reach everything up towards the sky. Look up towards the sky. Let the ribs and the shoulders shrug up. And then take a dive up and over to the left. So rolling down the outside of that left knee. Take an inhale at the bottom. And exhale to roll up. Good. Come back to the center, reset. Let everything shrug up, look up. Let the ribs flare. Take an inhale. And then exhale, articulating down. Down on the right side now. Take an inhale at the bottom. And exhale, roll yourself back up. Good. We're going to come to the top. I'm going to have you grab your left wrist. If that's hard overhead, you can always just grab the right arm more in front of you. Okay. I'm just going to take a side bend to the right, pulling that wrist. Take a breath into the open ribs, and then back to the center. Switch, go ahead and grab the other wrist, finding some traction as you side bend to the left. Take an inhale into those open ribs, back to the center and switch. Grab that wrist, pull, and side bend. Bend center, yep. Grab the wrist, pull, and side bend. Let's do one more each side. Grab, pull, side bend. Grab, pull, and side bend. Good. We'll come back to the center. Go ahead and shake the arms out. Okay, we'll come into some body tapping here. So let's start with my always favorite. So just taking the fingertips to that area under the collarbones and just finding a tapping here. Let's add a hum as we do this one. Okay, so lips stay closed. Take an inhale in through the nose and then take that hum. All the way to the end of that exhale, all the way to the end until you can't hum anymore. And you're just going to repeat that. We'll do maybe 3 to 5, depending on how long that hum is. Notice if you have any tender spots anywhere on your sternum, being your breastbone or under your collarbones. Let's do one more hum. Okay, good. Go and shake the hands out. Okay, we're going to start, instead of our body tapping, we're going to do more of a grab. So if you're able to grab your muscles, your skin, your soft tissue. I want you to make this more of like a grab and a squeeze today. If it's hard for you to grab your tissue, you can just take your knuckles and you can give it a little shake. We're going to do that same pattern. So we're going to grab the skin going down the inside of the arm. We'll give the hand a rub. And then going up the outside of the arm, grabbing the triceps and the shoulder. And just do that a few times through on each side. Going down the inside of the arm. And then up the outside of the arm. Okay, good. Go ahead and switch sides when you've done 3 on that side. And as always, as you're doing this, you're just noticing how that tissue feels to you today. Are there any tender or sore or uncomfortable spots? If you find a tender spot, feel free to stay on it. Maybe give it an extra few squeezes. Okay, good. When you've done that, we're going to come to the side of the body, and I just want you to give a rub. So I'm rubbing this side of my ribs nice and high, and I'm just going to work my way down towards the sides of my hips. And I'm just going to come to my belly and rub my belly. No particular way. I'm just kind of trying to bring warmth and attention to this area. If you're able to reach your back, give your back a rub. Waking up those kidneys. Okay. And then coming to the lower body, we're going to do the same thing here. So finding more of that grab if you're able to, or doing the knuckle shake if you're not able to grab. And just working down the outsides of the legs. And then coming up the insides of the legs. And again, we'll go 3 times through for each side. I'm doing both sides at the same time here. Down the outsides, grabbing, squeezing, compressing, noticing. Noticing the difference, if there's a difference in the feeling of your tissue from the upper leg to the lower leg. Oftentimes our lower leg can get really stuck and stagnant. So those tissues down there might feel really tight to you. Good. When you've done that a few times through, make sure you get the tops of your legs. Make sure you get your hamstrings. Okay, good. And then shake the hands out. Okay, for those of you that are able to access your feet, I'm going to have you grab your feet. We'll start with toe and finger weaving. So weaving your 5 fingers between your 5 toes, swooshing your hand back and forth, and then just mobilizing the middle of the foot like you're wringing out a towel. The towel being your foot. If you're unable to reach your feet, but you can reach your lower leg, I want you to imagine that you're wringing the towel out. I'll show you like this. You're wringing the towel out of your lower leg. So wringing back and forth. And if you're unable to reach the lower leg, seeing if you can wring the towel out of your upper leg. So we're basically just twisting the tissues in the direction that these tissues don't normally go, which is really good for them. Whether it's the foot, the lower leg, or the upper leg. Okay, we'll switch legs. Weaving, doing your toe weaving, wringing out the foot, wringing out the lower leg, or wringing out the upper leg. Noticing the difference between the two sides. Maybe even noticing if there's a difference between the outside of your leg and the inside of your leg. Does one feel more stiff than the other? Is there swelling? Is there a temperature difference? Go ahead and come to the knees. Give the knees a little bit of love and attention, just giving them a rub. Good, and then we'll come to the hands. We'll rub the hands together. Yep, interlacing the fingers if you're able to interlace. And we're going to find that same wave that we did last week. So lifting one elbow, letting the wave roll through the wrists, the fingers, the other wrist, and the other elbow, and then starting that wave over from the same side. We're going to go in both directions, so it doesn't matter which direction you start with. Yeah, and really exaggerating. Let the elbow lift. Let the wrist lift, let the other elbow lift, really exaggerate so your spine starts to move with you as you make this wave through the hand. For those of you that, aren't able to lace your fingers together, you can just press your knuckles together and you can do the same thing. Or you can even press the backs of your hands together, just so you get a little bit of wrist mobility in there too. Okay, if you haven't switched direction, go ahead and switch direction. Elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow. Letting your spine move with you, making that wave really big and high. The last one. Okay, good. We'll shake everything out. Okay. Let's do just a little bit of shoulder testing here, and then I want to add a couple of different nerve flossing ones that we haven't tried yet, or I don't think we've tried yet. Okay, so let's just start with a few overhead arm raises. We're just using these movements here as a check and a recheck. So we're going to do these movements before and after some of these nerve flossing techniques. So remember, you're just noticing range of motion, speed of motion, ease of movement, just how this is feeling in general, comparatively from the left side to the right side. Okay, we'll do one more. Good, and then we'll bring the hands into a goalpost position. Try to keep those elbows at shoulder height if you're able to, and just finding your internal and external rotation. So pivoting the hands up and down around the elbows. And you're just noticing the same thing. I always like to look at my hands for this one, just to see how far back I can get in each direction. Okay, so just noticing here, yeah, like what does it look like from one side compared to the other side? Okay, good. We'll shake the arms out. Let's test the neck. So we're just going to tilt the head to the left. And just noticing like overall stiffness, range of motion, tilting the head to the right. Yeah, just go back and forth a few times. Yeah, I got a comment. It's hard to switch directions on the wave. That's really normal. That's just a coordination piece. Your brain usually likes to do things in one direction. So when and you're always going to start in the easier direction. So when you switch direction, 99% of the time, it's going to be harder when we do those coordination kinds of movements. Okay, good. So just seeing how that neck feels. Let's just do a neck rotation as well. So turning the head and neck to the left and then to the right. How far are you getting? How does that feel for you? Okay, good. And then back to the center. Let's see. Let's do a whole body rotation. So we'll cross the arms in front of the chest, rotating left, and then rotating right. And again, just noticing how far are you getting? How does one side feel compared to the other? Just going back and forth. Okay, good. And back to the center. Okay. Shake the hands out and the arms one more time. Okay, so this is, again, these are all nerve flossing techniques for nerves more in the upper body that run down through our hands. So we're gonna take, we'll do one hand at a time. So you're gonna take, let's see, let me zoom in so you can kind of see me here. You're gonna take your left hand, elbow is straight, that arm is just down by your side. You're gonna pull the wrist in towards your body. So those fingers are kind of, the fingers are like pointing up towards me, that wrist is turned in, okay? Then I want you to keep that position with your wrist and then turn the wrist so that the fingers are now pointing away from you, okay? So we're kind of internally rotating, yeah? And then shrug that shoulder up and down a couple of times. Okay, now keep that shoulder down and pull that arm behind you just a little bit. You won't need to pull it behind you a lot. Yep, and then release and shake the hand out. Okay, so for all of these nerve flossing techniques, it's okay to feel some sensations going down the hand. We don't want to overdo it. So if you're feeling numbness, tingling, like extreme tingling, then shake out of it and don't hold it for longer than you need to. These are all meant to be done fairly quickly. Okay, so let's do the same side again. Pull, elbow is straight. Pull the wrist in towards you. Yep. And then point the fingers away from you. Shrug the shoulder up and down a couple times. Keep the shoulder shrugged down. Pull that arm back behind you. And hold. And you're just holding there. Yep, and then release and shake that out. Okay, other side. Elbow straight, arm down by your side. Pull the fingers up and in towards you. Oof, this one's gonna be rough. Point the fingers away from you. Shrug the shoulder up and down. Okay, leave it down. Pull the arm behind you. Keep that elbow as straight as you're able to. It's okay if it's not perfectly straight. The exaggeration here is coming from the wrist. So that wrist is really pulling, and then shake that out, release and shake it out. Yeah, one more time on this side. Fingers up and in towards you. And then fingers away from you. Still keep that wrist really active. Like I'm kind of trying to pull my fingers back towards me here. And then shrug the shoulder up and down. Keep that shoulder shrugged down. Pull the arm behind you. Trying to open up the front of this chest. Just hold there, hold there, hold there. And then release. Okay, good. We're going to do our answer the phone. So hands are down by your side again. Pull the wrist back. Okay, so my palm is facing towards the floor. My knuckles are facing up towards the sky. I'm going to answer the phone. So I bring my palm to my ear, like my hand is the phone and I'm answering the phone. My elbows are wide and broad. Yep. Okay, now try to hold that position. Try to pull the fingers away from your ear. So again, the wrist is really active here. and then release and shake that out. Again, if you're experiencing any tingling or intense sensations, don't hold it even if I say hold it. Okay, so you gotta listen to your body here. Okay, again, pull the wrist back. Answer the phone. Really answer the phone, pull those wrists back. Just holding for about five, maybe 7 seconds, and then release. Yep, one more. Pull the wrist back. Answer the phone. Hold, and release. Okay, super good. Go ahead and just find a swinging rotation. If you're standing, you can let your hips rotate with you. If you're seated, just try to find a rhythm there. Remember to tap your knuckles to your opposite low back. Okay, good. We're gonna open the arms like we're about to give someone a big hug. And then we're gonna give ourselves a really big hug. Let the upper back round, maybe pressing into the seat behind you. Take a breath in between your shoulder blades. And then open. Open the arms, open the chest. And then switch the direction of your arms, give yourself a hug. Yeah, just a couple more like that. Open and hug. And last one, open and hug. Okay, good. Let's do those retests. And I just want to see how well that worked for some of you in terms of releasing any tension you might be holding in the neck and the shoulders. So let's just come back to the overhead arm raise. You're noticing all the same things. Wow, that really helps my right. You're noticing all the same things we did before. Your range of motion, your speed of movement, your ease of movement. Did anything change for you here with those nerve flossing techniques? Okay. Okay, good. And then we'll bring the arms to goalpost position. Find your internal and external rotation. Again, I like to look from arm to arm, see if there's a difference there. Okay. Good, and release that. Let's find our head tilt to the left and to the right. Did anything change there for you? Any change in your range? In the overall tightness? Yep, and then finding a cervical rotation, so looking over the left shoulder and then over the right shoulder. Just going back and forth a couple times. Did anything change there for you? Okay, and we'll do full body rotation, so arms over the chest, rotating back and forth. And same thing, any changes? Okay, good, and relax. Okay, so I just want to get a reading because I just want to see how that was for folks. Can I get a thumbs up if your range of motion or if anything improved for you? A side thumb if it stayed the same, or a down thumb if it got worse? Okay. Awesome. Nice, everybody. Wow, I think that was all thumbs up. Awesome. Wow, cool. Okay, that's really good. Yeah. So those are good techniques. Those are good techniques to loosen some of this stuff here. That nerve flossing just means we're taking that nerve and we're flossing it through the muscle by putting it on an extreme stretch and doing a movement back and forth. It's just a good way to mobilize nerves that get sticky in those areas. Okay, let me grab this. Okay, go ahead and grab your letter ball or your ball-shaped object of some sort. Yeah, and Pat, that works. That's great. Okay, cool. Okay, if you've been with me for a while, go ahead and go right into playing letter ball. Otherwise, I'm gonna talk you through this here. Yeah. Okay. So for folks just joining, you're going to hold that ball into your chest. You're going to pull it away from you at any angle around your body that you want. You're going to quickly look at the ball, say the first letter or number that you see, and pull it back into your chest. If you don't have letters or numbers on your ball, I just want your eyes to pinpoint to a very specific point on the ball. Okay, and then pull it back in. Pull it away at a different angle around you, say the first letter or number you see, pull it back in. And you're just going to continue to do that, moving it all around you at every angle, above you, below you, behind you, to the side of you. And resetting every time you come back to the center, every time you bring that ball in. And you're just trying to look again at a really precise point on that ball if you don't have letters or numbers on it. Okay, for those of you that are able to play catch, remember I want you to challenge yourself with this so you can play catch with yourself, either using one hand or both hands. You could bounce it off of a wall. You could bounce it off of the floor. The harder you make this game for yourself, the more challenging the more challenging it becomes for your visual system and for your hand-eye coordination. If you've got a less dominant hand, maybe use your less dominant hand to make it a little bit harder. Yeah. Good, keep going. I'm just gonna watch people here. Yep, there we go, there we go. Nice, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna layer on here. We're gonna play with our single eye that we've been playing with. So if you're able to close one of your eyelids, just using your eyelid, I want you to do that. So leave one eye open, one eye is closed, and you're doing the same thing. You're just playing letter ball. If you're able to still throw it, you can still throw it. If you need to slow the game down and go back to moving it around your body, you could do that too. If you have a hard time closing your eyelid, you can just take one of your hands and lightly place it in front of your eyes. Remember, I don't want you to squish the eye, but just lightly place it in front of the eye. And you can play that way too. Yeah, nice, everybody. That's good. Do a few more throws with that eye. And then we'll go ahead and switch eyes. So closing off the other eye. And same thing here. Notice what eye is harder for you. And I want you to go back to that eye. So go back to the harder eye. Okay, I'm just going to layer on one more time. We're going to do brain speed with this single eye. Okay, we'll keep it simple though. So every time you catch or you see a number, you're going to lift the right side of your body. So that could be like a right arm raise, a right shoulder raise, or a right leg raise. Okay, so number, lift the right side of your body. Letter, lift the left side of your body. Shoulder, arm, or foot. Okay, so every time you catch a number, quickly lift the right side. Letter, lift the left side. Remember, you're trying to do this as quick as you can. So you see the letter, the number, You lift the corresponding side of the body, and then you continue. Cynthia, that is amazing. Cynthia has her mask over one of her eyes, which is a brilliant adaptation. Oh my God, that is so good. Yeah, you can also use a mask. And I don't mean an eye mask, I mean the face mask. There is a face mask over her eye. That is great. Oh gosh, that's a good one. I should have thought of that. Okay, maybe do 3 or 5 more throws here. Okay, and then we can put that ball down. Okay, I'm gonna have you grab just one of your pencils right now. For folks with glasses, go ahead and take your glasses off. If you can still see a pencil at arm's distance in front of your face. If it is blurry for you, just keep the glasses on. Okay, we're gonna do some pencil push-ups. Yeah, we're gonna do some pencil push-ups. I'm gonna have folks who are blind or visually impaired do some head movements. So I'll describe those to you in a second here. Okay, for folks doing pencil push-ups, they're gonna look at the tip of your pencil. We're gonna do the nose and the eye pencil push-ups today. So as a reminder, bringing that pencil slowly in towards the spot right between your eyes. You're gonna stop if or when you start to see 2 pencils, and then slowly pull it away. If you can pull that pencil all the way in, then pull it all the way in. Remember, it's okay if the pencil glows blurry, but I want you to only see 1 pencil the whole time. So you're gonna oscillate, you're gonna pull the pencil in between the eyes, and then you're gonna pull the pencil in between the nose. We're not gonna do a pause today, so I just want you to do a continuous pulling into the nose and away, pulling into the eyes and away. If that feels really easy for you, I'm gonna have you do this as your head is moving around. So I'm just kind of turning and twisting and side bending my head as I do those pencil push-ups. Okay, so it just adds another challenging element there. You can also do this standing for my standing athletes and or balancing on a leg. Okay, for folks that are blind or visually impaired, we're just gonna bring this more into the vestibular realm. So you can hold that pencil out in front of you or not. It's up to you if you want to target for your nose. And I just want you to start, you'll do about 10 or so head shakes left and right, 10 or so head shakes up and down, 10 or so head shakes at one diagonal, and 10 head shakes at the other diagonal. Yeah, that option is for folks that are blind or visually impaired. Otherwise, you're doing the pencil push-ups. Yeah, just watching people here. I mentioned this last week. If the pencil if you notice that it's easy to pull the pencil in, but it's hard to pull the pencil away, then slow your speed down as you pull the pencil away. Sometimes the tendency is to kind of quickly pull the pencil away, but try to slow the speed down, keep your eyes focused on that pencil as you pull it away. Okay, wherever you are, maybe finish those last few reps. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll put the pencil down. We'll come back to some body stuff, and then we're gonna return to some more vestibular work here. Okay, so let's just leave hands on the lap here. If you're standing, I'm gonna have you come down into this kind of ready stance. So knees are bent, hands are on the tops of the thighs, kind of resting over the knees. Okay, we're just gonna find a seated or standing cat-cow. So you're just gonna round the spine, tucking the tail under, and then pulling the chest and lifting the tail. my profile here. Good. Exhale to round the spine, tucking the tail. Inhale to lift and pull the chest forward. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Yeah, just do a couple more. Round. And lift. Last one, round. And lift. Good, coming back to the center. Let's bring that into a rib translation. Hands can stay on the lap here. And just translating the ribs from the left to the right. So remember for this one, we're not side bending because we're keeping the ribs and the shoulders parallel to the floor. Yeah, so you'll feel that same weight shift that we felt in the beginning of class from sit bone to sit bone. All right, we're just going to bring the arms out to the side. And I'm just going to have you lift your pointer finger like you're holding up the number 1 here. You can also just use your knuckle if that's easier. And every time you slide and translate, I want you to turn your head and neck and look at the finger, pause for a couple seconds, and then switch. Translate the ribs, turn the head and neck, look at the finger, hold, and switch. Translate, look, hold, switch. Translate, look, hold, switch. Translate and switch. Can we go faster? Translate, switch. Translate, switch. Translate, switch, 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 switch. Go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Good. And back to the center. Shake the arms out. Okay, we're gonna cross the arms over the chest. We'll all do this one together. Okay, this is for the vestibular system, so move at your own pace, maybe start slow if you're new to this. So we're gonna find a circling of the head and the torso around the lower body. I want you to imagine you're on, what is that like teacup roller coaster ride where you sit in the teacup and the teacup spins and then the roller coaster spin. It's an awful experience. No one should ever have to do that. But you're just going to recreate it just really quickly in the safety of your own home here.
It's called the Tilt-A-Whirl. It's a Tilt-A-Whirl.
Oh my God, I did not know there was an official name.
Trying to help out.
A Tilt-A-Whirl. Wow. That's a brilliant name because it really tilts your world. And
it's a little before your time.
Oh, but I've been on them. And I've almost puked on them. Oh my God, that's awful. Okay. Okay, so you're recreating the Tilt-A-Whirl. Wow, that's great. Okay, make sure you go an even number in both directions. So if you haven't switched directions, go ahead and switch directions. If you are getting dizzy, yeah, keep your eyes open. If you're getting dizzy or nauseous, take a break. But eyes will be open for this one. Yeah. Remember, the faster you go, the harder this becomes for your vestibular system. If you're in a chair and or if you're standing, you could turn this more into a spin. Okay, so just spinning around quickly, or you could do the Tilt-A-Whirl. Okay, do a few more reps wherever you are, unless you're dizzy, and then please take a break. Okay, all right. Oh my gosh. I have to Google this when class is over. Okay. Go and relax. Let's close the eyes. Let's take a nice, slow, heavy roll down to the floor. Take a few breaths at the bottom here. And then on your next exhale, roll yourself back up. Good. We'll find a few shoulder circle rolls. Good. And then let's just do a quick ear release. So I'll have you take your ears. You're going to grab your ear lobes if you're able to. Otherwise, you can put knuckles in that outer ear hole. And you're just going to find a gentle tug of the ear lobes down and back behind you. Okay, so kind of down and back behind you that way. It doesn't have to be too extreme here, just a tug. And then you're going to grab the tops of your ears and you're going to pull up and back behind you, kind of up towards the sky, but at a diagonal. Good, and relax. And I'm going to take your hands, last one here, cup your hands over your ears, like you've got ear muffs on your ears. Yep, and then go ahead and relax. Awesome. Okay, we'll close the eyes one last time here. Finding your breath. Seeing if you can sense your sit bones or your feet or even your back. And just find a gentle sway that feels good for you right now, whether that's side to side or forward back. It can be really small. Maybe you're only moving a couple of inches. But just something that allows your body to settle again. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody.